Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another SHM podcast presented by Hockey Trend. A very special guest today. She just wrapped up her freshman year at Colgate, won back-to-back gold medals with the U18 Canadian women's team over the last couple of years, and also is a graduate of the London Devilettes Junior U22 program. Please welcome Emma Pais.
Hello.
Now, Emma, you grew up in London. Kind of talk about when you first started playing hockey and what got you into it.
Yeah, so I first started playing where I was born in Kenora, but then moved to London quickly and kind of got put into like organized hockey here. So I started right with the London Devilettes when I was 6 and played all the way. I think I played in the organization for 12 years. So a really long time. It's like was an awesome organization and I kind of just fell in love right away.
Now, kind of take us through when you kind of realized hockey was something that you could pursue past when you were done playing in minor hockey.
Yeah, I think I like always just loved it. Like I always wanted to play. It was never like a drag to go to the rink. So I think as I got older, I realized, okay, like I really like this. I'd love to do this like full time and go to school. And like that's where I started to realize that it was possible and it was in reach. I think when you're young, you kind of think like it's a long shot. But I think as I got older and started making higher level teams, I realized that it was really possible. And then it's crazy to think about like where I am now.
Now, you played a number of years with that U22 AA team. Kind of take us through from the start to finish how crazy that experience was every single year.
Yeah, no, it was definitely crazy. I mean, I joined the team during a COVID season, so we didn't really have much of a season, but even being able to just learn from the older girls, like I think I would have been in grade 10 at the time, and then there was grade 12s on the team. So definitely like learning from people who had experience in the league and everything. And as it kind of went on, I just like kind of became one of those leaders that I looked up to a lot. So I think it's like a great program and obviously great for development. Like I learned so much. And I got to play with some of my teammates for 3 years straight. So we had a pretty good core group there in London. So that was awesome too.
Now, obviously, you finish up with London, you're off to Colgate, you're pretty excited about that, but just take us through the last little bit of that last season with London, knowing that your minor hockey career was kind of wrapping up and the team you had played for 12 years, or the organization you played for 12 years, it was all over. How kind of sad was that near the end?
No, it was definitely really tough. I mean, it was also definitely like sad, but it was also very exciting because almost most of my team that year was going to play in the NCAA or OUA the year after. So it was really exciting just to kind of realize that, yeah, we're all going to different places and we won't be on the same team anymore, but like we're still going to see each other and everything. But I think when we ended up winning championship weekend that year, and I think that was like a really like realized how special the team was, and definitely like something I'll never forget.
You also had an A on your jersey for the last couple of years when you were with London. Just talk about getting that honor and how cool it was to know your coaches had that respect for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think um my second year I was given an assistant captain role, and then also in my third year I had an A, and I think it was just a huge honor. We had such a good group and so many people who could have worn letters. I think we had leaders like up and down the lineup, which I know you don't get on every team. So it was definitely a huge honor, and I got to be in a leadership group with two of my best friends and both years. So that was pretty special too.
Now, obviously, you played 2 years for the U18 Team Canada team that won gold medals. Obviously, it's an honor anytime you get to wear a Canadian jersey with your name on it, but you got an honor at one point to have a Canadian jersey with an A on it too. How special is that for you?
Yeah, no, it was definitely pretty unbelievable. Definitely like something I'll never forget. And definitely not something I would have ever even dreamed or thought of. So it was a really cool experience. And again, Jocelyn, who wore the C in London, wore the C for Team Canada. So it was pretty cool that like both being from London, one of my best friends, and we were both able to be a part of the leadership group with Hockey Canada. So definitely something I'll never forget, especially like being my second year on the team, there were so many people who also could have worn letters. So it was really cool to like know that the team had the faith in me and saw me as a leader.
Now you have a picture up on your Instagram. You, Rigaldo, Pedersen, and Chandler all skating down the ice in Wisconsin with the Canadian flags and gold medals on. How cool of an experience was it your first time around with Canada having a gold medal at the end of it?
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. I mean, it was just so quick. We like went to camp and tried out for the team and we're off to Worlds right after that. So it's definitely a quick turnaround. And I think 3 weeks before I would have never thought I would have been in that position. And being able to beat the US in a final is kind of what you dream of. So it was really special and I think definitely something I'll never forget.
Now, I think it's probably different with every level of Hockey Canada, but how did you girls find out you made the team? Because I know like World Juniors, you get like a knock on your door or something like that. Like, is it pretty similar from that camp, or how did that kind of go?
Yeah, I think it obviously depends on the year. My very first year, COVID was still kind of a thing, so it was a bit different. Whereas we had the camp like right before we went to World, so we were in camp and then we had individual meetings, and with the coaches, and they told us either like you made the team or you didn't. And I was fortunate enough to make the team, so that was pretty unbelievable. And definitely that moment was nerve wracking, but something I won't forget.
Now, take us through that second gold medal overseas in Sweden. How cool of an experience was that?
Yeah, it was really cool. That was my first time ever going overseas to play. So that was first off just like a really cool experience. And then being able to win another gold medal was unreal. I think that was such a good group and the way we did it, just up and down the lineup. We had definitely had a bit of adversity throughout the tournament, but in the end we really came together. So it was really special, and especially to do it 2 years in a row was pretty unbelievable.
Now, obviously, that one was a little bit different being overseas. I'm sure your family made the trip, but how cool was it to experience playing hockey overseas compared to what it was here in Canada?
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I think like something we ended up playing Sweden in the final, and there's a fairly big rink we were playing at, and it was sold out with Swedish fans. So that was pretty cool just because I had played obviously at Wisconsin, and seeing I'm used to kind of playing in front of Canadian and American fans, but to play in front of Swedish fans was just really cool, and to see the support for just women's hockey in general.
Now, obviously, you come out with gold, but as you mentioned, a little bit of adversity to get there. You had to beat Finland in the semis there. In overtime, how nerve-wracking was it heading into that overtime, knowing that you're defending champions if you get back to the gold medal game?
Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking for sure. I mean, I think I didn't really have time to think about it. Very high stress situation, but I think that whole time, like I believed we were gonna win. I like had faith in the group, and so definitely nerve-wracking, but also it was pretty cool and a pretty special moment to be able to play in OT at a U18 championship.
Now, obviously, you get back to a second straight gold medal back-to-back years, and I I guess the nerves are kind of probably high throughout the game, but Kramer gets 2 goals in the first period. Alexa Aubin scores, and then Grober scores, and then Kramer scores again. So you're up 5-0. At what
Yeah.
point for you girls did it kind of set in that okay, like we're back-to-back champs, like let's just get this game over with? Because you end up winning 10-0. Like I'm sure there was a point where I was like, okay, like we're just waiting now.
Yeah, like I think definitely when we kept scoring, it was like pretty unbelievable that that was even like happening in a gold medal game. But I think it really spoke to our team just because we were such a good team, like up and down the lineup. And I think we really showed that in that final. So I think obviously we were pretty hopeful the whole time, but you never know what's going to happen in hockey. I think some crazy stuff happens. So didn't want to be too sure of it until the game was actually over.
Now, obviously, being from London, Kitchener is pretty close. I'm assuming you and Kramer grew up playing a lot against each other. How cool was it to experience playing with a great player like that?
Yeah, no, it was definitely so cool. I mean, growing up, I think we played against each other probably for almost all 12 years. Like we were always a year apart, so definitely a lot of good matchups and competitive with each other. But no, she's an unbelievable player. The way she sees the ice and her ability to score is not very many people have that. So it was really special to play with her, and I got an opportunity to play on a line with her, both there and at Team Ontario. So it was definitely pretty incredible, and would love to play with her again in the future, hopefully.
4 goals in a gold medal game is like absolutely insane, and I feel like she owns all of Swedish girls hockey now after putting up 4 goals against them. But
Yeah.
um, in your opinion, this might be tough to answer. What was the better gold medal to win, Wisconsin or Sweden? What was more kind of surreal for you?
I think it's hard. Like, obviously, both were pretty unreal. I feel like the first one, it's like your first one, and we definitely weren't the favorite to win that year. So I think that one was special for that reason. But then also, like, the way we did it in Sweden was something completely unbelievable. So I think, I don't know, it's hard to answer, but I would say the first one was probably just so special just because I had never done it before. And it was kind of like a so real moment.
Now, getting into Colgate here, kind of take us through what your commitment process was like and when you kind of realized that Colgate was a school that you wanted to go to.
Yeah, so I kind of committed a bit later for my class just because I waited until the June 15th rule was into effect. So I started talking to schools June 15th of my grade 10 year. And yeah, I had a few schools interested. So I went on, I think I visited 4 schools on official visits, and then ended up when I went to Colgate, I just knew right away that it was the right fit for me. And I think I definitely made the right decision.
Now, take us through stepping on that campus for the first time, what your first impression was, and then getting into the rink. How cool was it?
Yeah, no, it was pretty awesome. I mean, it was crazy. COVID was still going on, so it was a bit of a journey to get there. But once I was there, I just loved the campus. Definitely a small campus, but you can tell it's a really tight knit community, and it really feels like a family there. So right away, I got a really good feeling, and then all the girls were super welcoming, and definitely made me feel like a part and like I belonged there. So that was kind of this part that drew me there.
Now, take us through walking into a locker room for the first time and seeing your last name on a jersey. How cool was that?
Yeah, it was pretty special. We the night before our first game against Ohio, might have been the day before, the seniors presented us with our jerseys, the freshmen. So that was pretty cool. And Danielle Serdachny gave me my jersey. So definitely a moment I'll never forget.
Now, obviously, Sir Dagny's an unbelievable player. Just talk about what you kind of learned from her and the experiences she kind of taught you as a freshman this year.
Yeah, no, she's obviously sees the ice like no one else. Her vision is pretty unreal, and I think being able to learn from someone like that, she's very experienced and like always looking to help like the younger freshmen out and whoever really needs it. So she's like a leader like no other. So I definitely learned so much from her, and it's definitely going to be different without her next year.
Now, take us through your first game. Who was it against, and what were the nerves like heading onto the ice for the first time?
Yeah, so our first game was against Ohio State. So definitely didn't ease into the season. They came to us for the first 2 games of the year, and I think they were ranked number 2 at the time. So definitely, I think we were number 4 maybe. So definitely like a top 5 matchup that early in the season is pretty crazy. So I was super nervous, but like I had the older girls with a lot of experience, and they were kind of calming me down a bit. So once I got playing, it wasn't too bad, but definitely pretty nervous right away.
First goal against Ohio State with like 40 seconds left to get the game winner. How cool was that?
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. I mean, our arena's not huge, but there was a lot of people there. I think almost the whole school came out and watched that game. So it was definitely really special and something I definitely could have never predicted or guessed would have happened. But no, it was pretty unbelievable. And just to get that win was important for the group.
Yeah, it says here 1,200 attendance. How wild is that? You're playing your first collegiate game, you score a game winner with 40 seconds to go, and there's 1,200 people probably going absolutely ballistic in the stands.
Yeah, no, it was totally, like, something I would have never thought of, and I think it was cool. Obviously, I'm also a freshman, like, on campus, so it was cool just to see, like, people from my classes, my teachers, like, the whole town really came out to support and the university. So, yeah, it was definitely I kind of forget the moment. I might have blacked out a bit, but it's definitely exciting.
You're probably a superstar in class the next day. You probably just walked in the class and everyone was probably so pumped up for you.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable, like, I could have never predicted that, so it was definitely a good way to start my career.
Now, kind of take us through this season as a whole. Obviously, your ECAC Rookie of the Year, all rookie team, um, USCHO rookie team as well, and Rookie of the Week 3 times throughout the year. Just take us through all the accolades you won and how special those were to you.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, like, also something I would have never expected, and it was an unbelievable year, but I think I honestly owe it all to my teammates. I had so much opportunity to play with some pretty unbelievable players, and who had so much experience just in the league and with Colgate, so I definitely think, it was definitely an honor to win those awards, but I think it all's kinda to my teammates. They made it so much fun going to the rink every day, and we pushed each other to get better, so definitely a really good group, and it's gonna be hard next year with not the same group, but, definitely looking forward to it.
Now it also says here, so you get your first career goal September 28th against Ohio State. You get your first assist in November. So you go a little bit until you get that first assist. Obviously you put up 18 goals throughout the year, but kind of take us through that little gap between that goal and then that first assist. Were you kind of like nervous that you were gonna get that first assist at some point?
Yeah, I don't know, like, I can't say I, like, even knew that. Like, I didn't really even know that, so I think obviously as a hockey player, you go through slumps, like, it's up and down, but, I think that just speaks to my teammates. Like, I had a lot of opportunity to score goals because of, how the amazing players I was playing with, so
Okay, I think the website's wrong here because like it says you got it November 11th, but it also says that you got an assist against Penn State October 6th. So like I don't know what's going on with the Colgate website, but I
it's
guess
all good.
I
I'm
guess
not
they,
too worried.
they gotta update that because you also got an assist at Union October 28th too, and two against Yale on October November 4th. So I guess I guess they're missing some points on this website here, but
Yeah.
obviously as a freshman, one other girl that you got to play with, that you played a lot against in U22 is Madeline Palumbo from um the Durham West Junior Lightning. Obviously, you guys are really close friends. Just talk about being able to experience your freshman year with one of your best friends.
Yeah, no, Plum was definitely I didn't know her super well, only really from playing against each other before going to Colgate, but we've become best friends and, like, anytime she's an amazing player, so anytime we get to play together, even just practice, like, I think we're both really driven and we push each other to get better, so it's gonna be so fun to be able to play with her for 4 years. She's also just an incredible person off the ice, like, always someone you can count on. So, yeah, it's pretty cool when anytime you get to play with one of your best friends.
Now, not a lot of people get to say this, but you got to experience a Frozen Four in your freshman year. How cool was that? Winning an ECAC tournament to get there. Like, take us through how the whole playoff ran up till Frozen Four went, and at the end of it, obviously didn't go the way you girls wanted it to, but I mean, just the whole experience as a whole, how crazy is that in your first year that you made it all the way to that Frozen Four?
Yeah, no, it's definitely unreal, like, even just thinking about it now, I think in the moment, we were obviously focused on the task at hand and trying to make it to the final and win a national championship, but looking back, it's definitely something pretty unbelievable, and not very many people get that opportunity. So I definitely think, like, in the moment, I was so focused, I didn't soak it all in as much as I probably should have, but no, it was super unbelievable and just such a great event to be able to go to.
Now, take us through kind of the whole season, some of your favorite moments and some of your kind of favorite road trips that you girls got to go on this year.
Yeah, so we went to Minnesota Duluth, to play, and we didn't have the result we necessarily wanted that weekend, but, it was a really I think it was over Thanksgiving break, so it was a good time to bond. We did a few other things while we were there, so that road trip was super fun, and then I think anytime like, our division is so competitive, so any honestly, any road trip, it was always competitive, and Always just not only competitive games, but I just felt like we truly got better every game. So it was definitely a really good season. I'm trying to think of my favorite moments. I think obviously the Frozen Four, winning the ECAC, like those are pretty incredible. And then I think that first weekend against Ohio State is something I'll never forget. First time wearing the jersey, and then also first time playing for that team. So it was pretty incredible.
You guys also got to experience something around Christmas, Battle at the Brogue. How cool is that, traveling to Pittsburgh and playing something like that?
Yeah, no, it was really fun. That was when we first got back to campus after Christmas break. So, no, it was a really good trip. It wasn't too far for us, I think 5 hours or so. But no, definitely so nice to just get out of Hamilton and go to a big city like that.
You're probably used to those trips playing for London because all the games like U22, you're traveling so far for a lot of those games already.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it definitely playing in London sets you up. You're always driving to Toronto, so you're pretty used to long travel days.
The traffic is probably way better in Hamilton, New York than it is in Toronto getting to a
Yeah,
game.
I don't think traffic exists in Hamilton, so
Now, obviously, Colgate's a prestigious school to play at. Just again, touch on wearing that Colgate jersey and maybe what one of the favorite jerseys you got to wear this year was.
yeah, I think obviously it's the program's been around for so long and it's pretty cool. We have like alumni at every weekend. Like it's definitely a prestigious program and um they all like the people who came before is really important. So we kind of always talk about like leaving the jersey in a better place than you found it. And I think that's truly been done and the program's come so far. So it was pretty cool to have the opportunity to put on the jersey this year and I'm excited about the next three. But I'm trying to probably we have the grays are pretty popular. So those are probably my favorite jersey. We kind of played them whenever it was a special game. So I think like seniors night, we did a kids game, our home opener. So yeah, those are probably my favorite jerseys.
Now, obviously, the rink in Hamilton's pretty spectacular. Talk about walking that for the first time and obviously walking in the dressing room and seeing all the facilities that you have at your disposal for the whole year.
Yeah, no, we definitely get treated really well there, and there's just so much opportunity to get better. And I think though I think any arena is pretty amazing. I'm pretty biased though, like I think our arena is the best in the ECAC. But no, it's an awesome facility and it's just constantly like available whenever we need it, whether it be cold tubs, the gym, getting on the ice, like super accessible. So yeah, I love it there.
Now, I always ask this whenever I have players on, but what are some of your favorite rinks that you got to play in as a player this year?
Yeah, I think the Frozen Four rink was pretty unbelievable. That was an out of conference rink for us, so that was cool. And then I really like St. Lawrence's rink. It's kind of like a barn feel, but I really liked playing there. And I'm trying to think where else. I like Dartmouth rink a lot. It's a bit newer, but it's super nice and it's just like so big. So I like playing in big rinks too. So yeah.
Now, obviously, you grew up a lot of your life in London, and a lot of rinks won't compare to this, but Budweiser Gardens, how sick of a rink is that to watch a game as a fan?
Yeah, no, Budweiser is so awesome. I mean, it's crazy. The London Knights sell that place out almost every night. So there's definitely a huge hockey town, and people have so much support. So everyone calls it a mini NHL, but it really is. And there's so much support for the Knights, and I definitely love going to games growing up.
How cool was it to see kind of, I guess, not really your hometown, but almost your hometown team win an OHL championship this year and make it kind of all the way to a Memorial Cup final?
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, they went on a really good run the last 2 years. They've had a really good teams both years, so they're pretty close to winning the Memorial Cup. So hopefully next year.
Yeah, I think they can definitely probably run it back. But um, as a college athlete, freshman season, kind of take us through how you're able to kind of balance hockey and school at the same time.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a little difficult at times. The school, especially at Colgate, is not easy. So it's definitely academically challenging, but I think it just kind of goes down to time management and being able to make sure you're doing everything you need to for hockey, but also for school. And I think at the start it was a little bit hard to balance, but I think as I got going, I kind of got the swing of things. And then once you find that balance, it's not too bad.
Now, obviously, heading into your sophomore year, you got 3 more years, but you know how it kind of goes. You go so fast at some points, and like could be tomorrow. You feel like you're almost a senior, right? Like, just kind of take us through after your first year, how you think the next 3 years are kind of gonna go, and what experience you learned this year that you're gonna use for those next 3 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy that my freshman year is already over. Like you said, like time really does go by fast. So I think obviously I've talked on it about it a bit, but I learned a lot from my seniors this year. And so I think I'm gonna kind of take that leadership and hopefully bring it to the team for the next 3 years. We have a lot of changeover this year, so it's definitely gonna be a new group. But I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna take kind of the lessons of how the team was run last year and hopefully implement those and then just try to be a leader, play whatever role I can.
Now, obviously, you going into your sophomore year had the experience of being a freshman last year. Kind of talk about the freshman class that's coming in this year and what you can kind of give them as advice from what you learned as a freshman.
Yeah, no, I actually know quite a few of them coming in, so I'm super excited for that class to come in. And I think I would just probably say like enjoy the moment. Don't be too hard on yourself. Like it's definitely a stressful environment, but if you enjoy the moment, like at the end of the day, it's just so much fun. So enjoy it, and hopefully we can win a national championship.
Now, obviously, as a female athlete, you've got the PWHL to kind of look forward to after your collegiate career is done. And 6 of your teammates from this year were drafted this year. How cool was it to see all 6 of those girls' names get called?
Yeah, it was so special. I think obviously I had a really good relationship with my seniors. So almost our like whole senior class got drafted, which is something like pretty unbelievable and doesn't happen at very many places. So I think it just speaks to the program, but I was so excited for all of them and I know they're gonna kill it. So
Now, speaking on the PWHL, obviously, first year, a lot of success. Minnesota ends up winning the league. But just as an athlete and someone that's played girls hockey her whole life, how cool is it to know that you finally have a professional league to look forward to and be able to watch every single night now?
yeah, it's so exciting. I mean, I think before the PWHL, there's opportunities, but it wasn't anything that was super sustainable. So I think having a league and just seeing the success the first year had definitely gets me excited for the future. And I hope definitely one day I can play in that league.
Now, obviously, you've 3 years left in your program, but as a freshman, ECAC champions and a Frozen Four experience, how do you kind of go up from there?
Yeah, it's obviously it was a pretty successful year, and I think it also just speaks to the group we had. But I mean, in the next 3 years, I'd love to win a national championship. I think I went to Colgate hoping to win a national championship, and I know we have a team that can do that. So yeah, I'd love to win a national championship and hopefully a few more ECACs.
Now, how crazy of an experience was it as a freshman to be able to lift an ECAC championship trophy?
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, we also were able to do it at home, so another huge crowd for that game. And we were playing Clarkson, who we hadn't been able to beat all year, and we were able to beat them in the final. So yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. And yeah, I think that was for a lot of our seniors, that was their fourth time in a row winning the ECAC, which is really hard to do. So it was really cool to also watch them win.
Now, you're only the second player in program history at Colgate to win Rookie of the Year in the ECAC. I'm assuming probably the first freshman if there's only one other girl, but what does that honor mean to you, especially in your freshman year, to be able to have that accolade to your name?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I think it's definitely really cool, but it's I'm gonna say again, but it's all like the team. It was such a good year and such a good group. They made it really easy. So yeah, it's definitely cool, and I think it's something I would have never thought I'd be able to do.
Now, in that post, they had a lot of your goals this year, and a lot of celebration were just like skating right to your teammates. Do you have any like really good celebrations this year where you're just kind of like, okay, scored, let's go celebrate with the team?
Yeah, I'm not a big celebrations person. Wouldn't say I had any good celebrations. I think a lot of times I was probably pretty shocked it went in the net, so not too much time to think about a celebration.
Yeah, I think there was a couple in that highlight pack where you're just like, oh, scored a goal. Okay, cool. So, have a smile or something and skate to a teammate who passed it to me. But
Yeah.
obviously, you put up the rookie of the year this year. What are some of the other things in college that you're kind of looking forward to? Maybe road trips or other accolades that you could try and work towards over the next 3 years?
Yeah, I think I'm just honestly looking forward to, like, the weekend in, weekend out, like, traveling. I had, like, enjoyed it so much this year. It's just so competitive. So, honestly, not necessarily anything in particular, but just looking forward to continuing to compete in such a great league every night.
Now, obviously, time kind of flies by, and next thing you know, you're going to be a senior. So, if you could give yourself like younger Emma a little bit of advice, what would it be as a hockey player where you are now?
Yeah, I'd probably say don't be too hard on yourself. I struggle with that a bit. I'm pretty hard on myself, like whether I'm not playing well or not performing, and definitely can get frustrating at times. So just don't take yourself too seriously. Have fun and enjoy it because it's really the best time of your life.
Absolutely. Well, Emma, thank you so much for coming on. We wish you the best of luck in your sophomore season next year, and hopefully you're bringing a Frozen Four championship back to Hamilton.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.